Good Tuesday morning, the last day of 2024, and I'm so glad you found me here for the Weather Desk. It's today's top weather headlines and taking a deeper dive into some weather topics. We do this right around 9 a.m. each weekday, and my name is meteorologist Craig Moeller. I want to come out and talk to you about our headlines, what we're going to be tackling in today's Weather Desk. We've got a good one for you today. Of course, New Year's Eve. I've got the New Year's Eve forecast for Hampton Roads, but not just Hampton Roads. We'll take a look at what's going on across the country, including the Big Apple, where there are going to be chances for showers up around New York City. And you think about this, about 1 million people expected to turn out in Times Square. Great party, huge celebration. It'll be streaming all over the place. You'll see the coverage, but it covered for you with Ryan Seacrest on ABC, and that includes 13 News Now. So we're excited about that. We'll talk about that and then our local forecast as well. We've got a cold start to 2025, and not just for one particular part of the country. I mean, the eastern half of the country, as you will see, is going to be pretty cold through mid-January. So right after we flip the calendar, get ready. Temperatures are going to tumble. As we take a look, with cold weather in place, we also have multiple chances for wintry precipitation. I know a lot of you have been asking me, out on the streets, people stop me and say, are we really going to see a chance for some snow? Or I've heard there's a chance we could see some wintry precipitation. I'm going to break all of that down for you. We'll talk about when we could see some snow here in Hampton Roads over the next 10 to, say, 14 days or so. That'll be coming up. Not a guarantee, but there will be chances, so stay tuned for that. Let's start, though, with the New Year's Eve forecast, and I want to get into that. We're going to start with the satellite image, and let me tell you, with the satellite and radar images, look at how quiet it is out along the West Coast. They've got great weather out there, looking good across the Lone Star State, Texas, Oklahoma into Kansas, Louisiana, the Deep South doing pretty well. But we've got this storm system. It's a pretty quick mover, another clipper system rolling through the central U.S., and it is going to continue to march off to the east-northeast. So while it's a beautiful start to the day up in the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, you can see down through D.C. Everybody in good shape, certainly beautiful here in Norfolk this morning, and warm as well. It's another warm day. What we've got going on, this area of low pressure is going to race along to the east-northeast. It's going to carry this front through and then bring in this cold front behind it. That's going to cool us down for tomorrow and open the door for another blast of colder air. That's the really big one that will chill us out through the weekend and then into next week and beyond. So the big pattern change coming up. But this is a quick mover, and it's going to mean more rain for parts of the northeast U.S. Now, you take a look at the futurecast here. We're going to do this a little differently. A lot of times when you tune into 13 News Now, we really just focus on Hampton Roads. I know there are a lot of different ways to get the forecast, but in this case, because it is New Year's Eve, we're going to take a look nationally at what's going on, and I'm going to break this down for you hour by hour with each one of the time zones at midnight so you can see what our futurecast is projecting. You'll notice at 4 o'clock this afternoon, some scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms associated with that area of low pressure as it's moving off to the east-northeast out across western parts of Virginia, maybe northern Virginia up into Maryland or Pennsylvania. There could be a few stray heavier downpours. West Virginia over the mountains, a little more rain up that way. Some snow flying later this afternoon, potentially from Detroit all the way up towards Lake Huron, back through the southern parts of Lake Michigan, Chicago, places around Indiana, Gary, Indiana, for example, one of those areas seeing some snow this afternoon. Again, things pretty quiet across the south. We do have a little unsettled weather for parts of Wyoming up into Montana, and we've got some more rain approaching the northwest. Now, as we go into the evening, now we're talking about some heavier rain around the Big Apple. So as folks are turning out, I don't know how early people start lining up, but I know it's a whole thing to get out there early enough to get your spot in Times Square to watch the ball drop. So they better have their rain gear up in New York. We've got a chance for a few showers to develop. This is by 10 o'clock. Again, scattered wet weather up in the Northeast around the Big Apple. Chances for showers here in Norfolk. And trust me, I will have a much closer look at our Norfolk area coming up with the forecast here over the next 25 minutes or so. But you see the snow still extends back out around the eastern Great Lakes. Things still pretty quiet across the south and for much of the southwest. But we start to see some precip coming in for the northwest. So here it is, 10 o'clock. This is East Coast time. As we go to midnight, still chances for rain around New York. I think some of the heavier rain at midnight when the ball drops. If you're watching Ryan Seacrest right here on 13 News Now, probably still some showers out there in New York. Maybe they luck out. Maybe they get a little break around midnight. But as that ball drops, there'll be chances for precipitation up in New York. That extends across Connecticut, some heavier rain there. Looks like our heavier storms will be offshore. Things will be improving for Hampton Roads. Snow flying across parts of West Virginia. Think about Beckley. Back through Charleston and back over towards Huntington. They're going to be dealing with some precipitation. Snow through central Ohio. Again, Detroit could see some snow as well. Beautiful down across Florida. And again, this is at midnight for the East Coast. Let's take you 1 hour forward. And as we move you towards 1 o'clock, now it's midnight in the central U.S. Ball drop celebrations in the Midwest, places like Chicago, St. Louis, Little Rock, Arkansas, for example, down through New Orleans. All of these areas in great shape. Minneapolis, it's going to be chilly, mostly cloudy, but things aren't looking too bad for folks ringing in the new year in the central U.S. As we go another hour forward, now it's midnight in the mountain range and the mountain time zone. You can see out around Denver, things looking pretty good. Salt Lake City, beautiful night there in Salt Lake. Be a little cool, but still very nice. Chances for a little snow across parts of Montana. Should be pretty quiet across the southwest. And finally, for the West Coast, 3 a.m. on the East Coast, midnight on the West Coast, snow flying across parts of Washington State and Oregon, and then back into Northern California along the coast, some unsettled weather there. So that's what we're looking at nationally with New Year's Eve celebrations from coast to coast. Now we're going to focus on Norfolk for a moment and talk to you about the climatology. On New Year's Eve, our record high 73, that was set in 1932. Now today, we're going to see temperatures up in the mid-60s, so we're going to be well warm of normal. Our average high and low, when you look back throughout our history, has been 49 degrees for a high on New Year's Eve and 33. The more recent averages, if you look at our current climate situation and just look back over the last 20 years, the average has been in the low 50s. So we've actually been warmer more recently, but over all of the time that we've kept records for Norfolk, the average for New Year's Eve for Norfolk is 49 and 33 the low. Days with precipitation, it typically happens about 38% of the time, almost 40% of the time. And we have had 1 inch of snow on New Year's Eve. That took place back in 1905. All right, what about tonight? What can we expect? Well, for tonight, as folks are heading out, there will be the chances for showers. It's going to be mild tonight, temperatures generally in the 50s, and there's a chance for a few stronger storms over northern parts of our viewing area. Now, this is a severe weather outlook, and this is from the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. This area is shaded in this green. This is a marginal risk area. It's the lowest level, level 1 threat for severe storms. But it's something we're going to watch. Remember, that low pressure is going to move off to the east-northeast. It's got a warm front lifting through with a cold front coming through. Have a little triple point there with a little occluded front actually stemming off of that. So it's really a complex little storm system that's going to at least have some potential to produce a few strong, possibly severe storms from parts of eastern Kentucky through West Virginia and then across much of the Commonwealth, Maryland, and over to Delaware, southern New Jersey. Want to zoom in and show you what parts of Hampton Roads, and if you look, it does include areas basically north of 264 in Virginia Beach and into Norfolk. So we do have that level 1 threat. I mean, we are right on the edge there on the south side Hampton Roads. As you go farther south, again, even Town Center, kind of right on the very cusp of it. You go south, southern Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Suffolk, northeast North Carolina. We are not outlooked for the severe weather down there. And again, it's just a level 1 chance, but it is something we'll be mindful of. Peninsula, Middle Peninsula, Northern Neck, the Eastern Shore, areas towards I-95, all included in that level 1 threat. So that's the look at that. Now, I promise you a closer look at our rain chances here across Hampton Roads tonight. And you can see through midday, it's very mild. Temperatures up into the low 60s. We've got some passing clouds, not looking bad at all. As we head into the evening, this model, this is the graph model, not really producing too much. As we get into the late evening, we start to see a couple showers popping. And now around 9:15 or so, we've got a little bit more. Again, maybe a heavier cell off to the north or west. This model just updated, and it actually backed off a little bit from some of the more intense cells we were seeing with the previous run just off to the north and west. So this may be a little indication, an early indication that hopefully it won't be that bad. I do still expect some showers, and this is around 10 o'clock. Now, this stuff should not last very long. The models have been pretty progressive with moving it out, and by midnight, I do expect drier conditions. So while we have chances for showers, and some of the other models like the HER, that's the rapid refresh, the high-res rapid refresh model, it was showing a little more activity hanging in a little bit later, but it does look like most of this stuff should be offshore by midnight. And again, very mild as we start the day Wednesday. We could still be at 56 or 57 degrees. I think generally through the afternoon on Wednesday, temperatures are going to struggle to get back up into the mid-50s. Colder air sweeps in after that. So here's what we have for the last night on the town. Again, this is Town Center, Virginia Beach. 13 News Now, a proud sponsor. We love to get out there and support all of our community events, but this is a big one. Ton of people showing up out at Town Center to celebrate. We'll say so long to 2024 and hello 2025. Activities for the family start around 7. The music plays. The bands are playing out there. The live performance is amazing. Starting, I think, around 9 and running to about 12:15. So variably cloudy again. I showed you that chance for showers, and there's a low risk of a stray storm. Most of that activity should be farther to the north. Winds are going to be southwest, maybe picking up towards midnight a little bit. And after midnight, we could see some gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour. So it will be breezy. No matter what you're doing this evening, we want you to celebrate safely. Now, for New Year's Day, we go back to our climate page here. Our record high, again, 75. That's a little bit warmer than, again, today's record high is 73. Tomorrow's 75 for Norfolk. 1952 is the year. We're not going to be close to that because temperatures tumble tomorrow. Instead of being in the mid-60s like today, we're in the mid-50s and trending down after that. 20 the record low. We won't be that cold. Our averages, again, and this is well back over time since we've been keeping records in Norfolk, still 49 and 33. But notice this. You remember for New Year's Eve, chances of precip, when you look back at all of our days, it was 38%. We've seen precip on 44% of our New Year's days. So it seems like we've had a little bit more wetness on the 1st of January. And we did pick up 1.1 inches of snow long time ago, back in 1900. All right, so what about tomorrow, the forecast? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We'll get rid of that 4 and bring in a 5. 2025, the first day, sunny and breezy, temperatures in the mid-50s tomorrow afternoon. Again, it'll turn cooler after that. And that's what we're going to talk about here, the cold weather to start 2025. Are you ready for it? It's coming. Here's what we have. All right, today's high, mid-60s, as I mentioned, increasing clouds. We have a relatively warm end to 2024. As we look forward, tomorrow, temperatures in the mid-50s. And again, when you look at the almanac, it might say 56 or 57, depending on what our midnight temperature is at Norfolk. But temperatures tomorrow afternoon in the mid-50s, and then we're in the upper 40s Thursday and Friday. Now, again, the graph model here kind of suggests temperatures are going to be really cold, like upper 30s. Some are suggesting closer to 40. So we'll see around 40 or so, upper 30s to near 40. 44 on Sunday, and then mid-40s on Monday. But the overnight lows Monday to Tuesday are going to be chillier. And then we get this next push of cold air with highs staying in the 30s. Obviously, these daytime highs are still above freezing. So any mixed precipitation we get Friday night, it's not going to last long, but you might see a few snowflakes with a chance, and I'll show you that with our future cast. We're going to look at the GFS model, the Global Forecast System, and the European model. We'll take a look at those. Both were hinting at maybe a little bit of wintry precip for parts of the region overnight Friday night. It won't last long. Saturday, Sunday should be dry. But Monday, we've got another system, and while the airport has temperatures in the mid-40s, it should be much chillier inland and north, and parts of the region are outlooked to maybe get some more wintry precipitation early Monday morning and possibly Monday night into early Tuesday. Again, near the coast, a little bit milder, but then this next push of colder air comes in, and now we're talking highs in the 30s with overnight lows down into the 20s, and there's yet another chance for snow as we look a little farther down the road. So we're going to get into all of that. I will say when you take a look at the precip outlook for that period, the 8th through the 14th, it does look like it's going to be drier across the Mississippi River Valley and the Ohio River Valley, the central U.S. here. Really expecting drier than normal conditions, maybe a little wetter than normal down along the Florida, southeast areas of the U.S. right along the coast here. And then we'll probably be pretty close to average in Norfolk. Again, the wetter than normal conditions in the north central U.S. and then drier out on the west coast. Here's what I want you to see, though. When I talk about the cold trend coming, look at this. You draw a line right here over Colorado and parts of, let's say, western parts of the Dakotas, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, eastern Colorado, right on down through the panhandle of Texas and back over West Texas. And everybody east of that set to be below normal. And I mean really below normal. So cold, dry air in place for this part of the country. With the colder air in place, if we get anything coming up the coast, all right, keep in mind, Florida's going to be a little wetter, so maybe there'll be a few disturbances there, and it throws that back in to that colder air that's in place here. That's a recipe that can sometimes produce some snow. So we're going to be watching for that, and that's really our next topic, our snow chances over the coming weeks. And I think probably quite a few of you watching this, if you saw this headline on our YouTube stream, kind of outlooking this is like, all right, this is what we want to talk about. All right, you take a look at Norfolk. We have been 1,067 days without significant snow at the airport. We've had this long drought, the snow drought. It's the second longest we've gone since we've had any measurable snow in Norfolk at the airport. As we look forward, I want you to keep a couple things in mind. Snow can happen if a storm system moves along and it brings the cold air with it, and that cold air arrives in time before the precipitation moves out. A lot of times when a strong storm system's coming through, it's producing tremendous amounts of snow in the central U.S. Maybe the Ohio River Valley is getting just pummeled, or we're getting a ton of snow over the Appalachians. By the time it gets to Hampton Roads, our temperatures are more moderate due to the ocean and the bay and the sounds and all of those things that kind of moderate our temperatures a little bit. When that system finally pulls the cold air in place on the backside of the system, the precipitation a lot of times gone. So maybe it tapers off as rain with a few wet snowflakes in the mix or whatever, and then it moves out, and then the really cold air settles in behind the system. Okay, that's no bueno, no good, all right? We're much more likely to get significant snow when cold air is already in place. When there's really cold air, sub-freezing temperatures across Hampton Roads, the ground is frozen or near freezing, and we start to get that moisture coming in off the ocean, that's the recipe for significant snow, and our chances increase quite a bit. For the next 2 weeks, the mid-Atlantic region, as I just showed you, right on through the 14th of January, we are expecting temperatures to be below normal. Cold enough for snow? We'll see. At times, certainly overnight lows will be. You can see the next 2 weeks, we're going to be cooler than average. So there's at least a potential setup. For those of you that have been holding out, we could see it. So let's look at a couple of the models and see what's on the horizon as far as our snow chances. First of all, that system that is out across the central U.S., this one is going to pull to the north. We'll see some rain chances, but no snow with that. As we look forward to Friday, this is the GFS. This is the U.S. model, the global forecast system. It does pop a little bit of wintry precipitation here. Now, it's going to be light if we see anything, and officially, chances are only around 20% or so. I see a little bit with the model, but when I get into more detailed look, you know, at a little bit better resolution model on this, it's not really doing a lot, just a little bit, but it's there, okay? So we'll keep that in mind. Notice some moisture offshore, rain here, but with it getting colder in the morning on Friday, it's worth, or I should say Friday evening, it's going to be worth just monitoring. We'll see. As we get into Saturday, now we're looking at drier conditions. I think Saturday, Sunday should be dry, but we've got this next storm system, and this comes in later Monday. And again, we're much chillier with those morning temperatures. And by the time the moisture arrives again, the U.S. global model, the GFS here, says, okay, we get a little bit of mixed precipitation near the coast. Temperatures may be a little warm right at Norfolk or Virginia Beach or maybe Cape Charles right along the eastern shore, these areas. But some of the inland areas may be colder, and it may be cold enough to support some snow. So Monday morning, when I'm back in after the weekend and getting your weather together for your early morning commute on Monday on daybreak, I may be talking about some wintry precipitation or some mixed precipitation anyway, impacting the early part of that morning commute. It's too early to say. There's not a tremendous amount of confidence in that, but it's something that we will continue to monitor, and we'll let you know if these models trend colder or if they go warmer, if the precip's not there. All that stuff can certainly change over the next 5 days, but you definitely want to stay tuned in case this does continue to play out in this direction. You'll notice as we go a little bit later in the morning, still chances for snow to the north, more like mixed precipitation, maybe a rain-snow mix here with a transition eventually to rain. This pulls away Monday evening into early Tuesday. Most of that should be gone, but there might even be a little bit of leftover mix early Tuesday. We'll see. We'll see how that plays. Now, here's the European model. You hear about the euro a lot when we talk about some of the global models. You had that GFS was the American. Here's the euro. And the euro, again, brings some rain shower chances through tonight. A little bit better chance for a few stronger storms off to the north. We'll see. The winds pick up, though. Behind it, you see this tight packing of these lines here. That's indicating a stronger northwest flow. Cooler air comes in. And as we go through our Wednesday, it's going to be breezy. Thursday, not looking too bad. Now we get into Friday. And the latest euro also, if you remember, the U.S. model had a little something there Friday evening. Here we are, Friday, 8 p.m. The euro also has just a little bit of mix. Now, again, I'm not trying to get folks crazy or too excited. This precipitation should be very light if we see anything, and we may not. Again, things could change. But I just wanted to show you that both of these global models are hinting that there could be something Friday evening, and then that moisture starts to pull farther offshore. We dry out again. Saturday and Sunday, we're looking pretty good. As we get into Monday, you remember the GFS brought in Monday morning a little bit of wintry precipitation. Well, the euro is biting on that too. Chances, now the better chances for snow, obviously farther inland, some of the moisture more concentrated back across parts of the Ohio River Valley and back into West Virginia over the mountains. They could get some significant snow. More rain down across parts of the deep south and maybe a few stronger storms down that way with the front kind of trailing from that low pressure. But here in Hampton Roads, again, there's at least a chance as we go early Monday morning with that colder air in place. As the day warms up on Monday, and again, that low pulls along, we get a warm front lifting through the area, we'll see a transition back to rain. So I'm not, at this point, it doesn't look like a winter wonderland. I showed you that extended outlook with the temperatures. We're in the 40s for highs on Monday. So just want to keep everybody's expectations, kind of where they need to be. You don't want to go crazy with this, but there will be chances at least for some wintry precipitation. And I'm a little concerned with that morning commute there Monday, especially for folks traveling anywhere off to the north. This could have some significant impacts on travel over the eastern part of the country. That'll continue to move on. You can see Monday, 7 o'clock, that low tracking right over our area. Unsettled weather, not a pretty day there on Monday. Some more snow, though, back off to the north and west and off to the north as well. So anywhere from Indiana and Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania through New Jersey, snow chances there. Pretty good snow chances northern and western Virginia while we deal with rain here later on Monday and rain showers down to the south along the coast. As that pulls away, we could see a little bit of mixing on the backside. All right, let's come back to today and what's going on right now. We have the sunshine. Here's our system. This pulls off to the north, but it does produce the opportunity for showers a little bit later today, or really tonight. That's what you need to know. Temperatures are currently in the mid to upper, well, right now we're still in the 50s, but we're headed into the mid to upper 60s later this afternoon. So look for a mix of sunshine and clouds today. It's going to be a beautiful day, really, during the day. By evening or late afternoon, just before sunset, there might be a stray shower. Some of these areas off to the north. It's not likely, but it's a possibility. Generally partly to mostly sunny skies as you go farther south. But tonight, during the evening, it becomes variably cloudy, and there will be chances for showers. So if you like the warm weather, my advice to you, soak it up right now. Enjoy it while we have it, because those changes are coming. Overnight tonight, 45, variably cloudy. Some evening showers, and the southwest winds will blow about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Could see some gusts to 25 miles per hour. That should come after midnight behind the front, and then we're going to see those winds really increasing tomorrow. Gusts up to 35. So a windy day tomorrow. We'll call it breezy and cooler. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures in the mid-50s. Hopefully you're ready for that downturn in the temps, because it's coming. Upper 40s there for Thursday and Friday. Friday right now, I'm going to say a low risk of precipitation. I mentioned that there is that little opportunity maybe for a little bit of mix far inland, but it doesn't look like great chances. We may adjust that up or down over the coming days. Highly encourage you to check out the 13 News weather forecast as they are updated. We have our team working and keeping a close eye on all of that as we go along. Tonight, we're going to see, it'll be, let's see, who's in today? Oh, Taylor's doing the shows tonight. I was trying to check our schedule there real quick. She'll let you know if those chances go up or down a little bit. As we look ahead to the weekend, should be good, but it will be cold. Monday morning, the low 29 degrees there. And with that precip coming in, that's why we have the potential for some mix changing over to rain later, but I think we could see some mix early on Monday. So you definitely want to stay tuned, and we will work to keep you updated. I'm going to be off tomorrow celebrating New Year's Day with my wife and some friends. As we look ahead, I'll be back in Thursday, and again through the weekend, we'll have our focus on what's coming up with our precip, not only the chances for rain in general, but also the precipitation types. All right, if you need to get a hold of me, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and X. You see the different locations. Facebook, Craig Moeller. Instagram, Craig Moeller TV. And on X there at 13 Craig Moeller. What I'd like to tell you right now is I hope you have a wonderful new year. If you're going out tonight, please celebrate safely. I don't want to sound preachy, but you know, if you've had anything to drink ringing in the new year, stay off the roads, get ride share, you know, make sure you've got a sober driver. We want everybody to have a fantastic New Year's Eve. Tear it up, have a great time, but please be extra careful and don't drive if you are in any way impaired. We want to have everybody kicking off 2025 in great shape, and I look forward to more of these updates from the Weather Desk in 2025.